Well, this manga took quite the turn, didn't it? Deep Raputa was a shit show. It started off pretty strong, an AI yandere romance action manga that had some interesting takes on the romantic subtext. Rupita and Kei had a cool dynamic. Bold shonen ace and crazed female protag fall deeper for one another despite being at odds with each other. A fat titty hag who towers over the rest of the cast menacingly, a supporting cast of interchangeable characters who enable the main characters regardless of whatever is going on in their lives. Mixed together and you have a shonen recipe for success. What could possibly go wrong? Well, as we came to see, everything could go wrong. Deep Raputa was such an unprofessional manga. I don't know if I would blame the mangaka. This seems to fall more upon the editor. Around chapter 12, the series starts to switch up the tone and motivations of the characters for no real good reason. It was still too early to call this serialization a flop and force a pivot to save it from cancellation. It had decent reviews and enough chatter for a relatively new manga, so I'm not sure why it moved into the direction that it did. Once Joe, Kei's father, was ruthlessly killed, the series started to go downhill quickly. There were so many odd plot points and an increasingly dark tone that added much confusion to the overall narrative. The manga became less a series about AI and how it impacts the psyche of a young boy, and more so a standard battle shonen about challenging a shadowy organization that has plans on conquering the world. If that was what the mangaka Sanju wanted to write, then those ideas should have been pushed forward from the jump, or introduced much more slowly than what was seen here. The numerous plot twists do nothing but create distractions for Raputa and Kei, and a lot of the subject matter feels much more mature than what any 12-year-old could possibly deal with. I'm not against sexual trauma being used as a device to harm and ultimately grow a character, but how it was presented here? No. It felt very misguided and jaded, as if an editor suggested to Sanju to make the series more edgy and dark to shock readers and spread word of mouth, but none of that happened. The reception to the back half of Raputa was overwhelmingly bad, and any good faith harvested from the readers early on was discarded just as quickly. The writing sucked, sure, but did the art offer any saving grace? No. There is so much blank space that you could tell the mangaka lost a lot of interest in what they were doing. Panels became very small as well. It was weird. I think Sanju is a talented author, and I really like their style. It was a surprise to see them taking so many shortcuts towards the finish line though. A statement from them on Twitter indicated that this was how they wanted the series to end, and it wasn't axed. That's a fucking lie. I'm so sick of these mangaka and editors trying to save face when yet another Jump Plus series stumbles. That lack of public accountability is a terrible business practice, one that has long since been phased out of entertainment circles. Why the manga scene continues to push forward this mentality is beyond me. I will say there was always something off about this series. The large blank/black spaces, the random white borders at the edge of some pages, the bulky clothing making everyone look like background characters from Trigun. It all felt very cheap. I don't want to say low effort TBH because Raputa did start off strong and the mangaka showed incredible ambition in the early parts of the story, but by the end, it was very disjointed and clinical. Come chapter 26, there was so much exposition that it made me hurl. Just pure fucking nonsense. Worse than Shoujo Null's quick rap. Is this manga worth reading? I'm not sure. Maybe if you're looking for a quick read and want a wild ride, then yeah, go for it. After a strong start, there were a number of pretty good ideas sprinkled throughout this series. Alice Adamant was my favorite character. I'm a sinister gooner, so please bear with me here. Alice should have been the main focal point of fan service for this series. The strange rape orgy that came up out of nowhere derailed a story that really couldn't handle such an extreme topic. Alice was a nuanced character that had a good backstory, who was also purposefully drawn to be hot as fuck. Why would you create a well-written character with sex appeal and agency only to subvert the reader's expectations with a rape plot? That feels so tacky and also a betrayal of a consumer's desires. Very odd narrative choice that will stick with me for a while. Anyway, 3 out of 10.